Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z. Facebook, Whatnot, and eBay are all Flips and Giggles just to make it easy. Flips and Giggles was taken on Instagram, otherwise I would have had it on there too. But it is what it is. And if you're looking to level up your reselling game and you need a little assistance, I always recommend my reseller Genie. I can't recommend it enough, and if you use my promo code GIGGLES, you'll get 15% off their bookkeeping software and then 15% off their course as well. It makes everything easier. It's a bookkeeping for resellers, so it's designed for people like us who resell or, casually resell. So make sure you check the link in my bio on Instagram or, again, promo code GIGGLES to get that discount. So, now that all that's out of the way, it is another week. I've got a fan going right above me because it's hot, so I hope it's not like too annoying picking up on the mic, but we'll see. I have the door open too. I'm still trying to get my podcasting space together, so this is just temporary right now. The basement is where I do most of my work, and it's still kind of a disaster right now. We just did two back-to-back, not back-to-back, but like we did our Thursday night Star Wars show. I told you guys last week I had a bunch of Star Wars figures. So we literally kind of split it in half. It just kind of worked out that way. And we ended up selling like half the collection on Thursday and then the other half on Monday night. So that cleared out like a ton of space. That stuff had been sitting for a few weeks. I got it right before the competition, and then I put it in the competition. I sold like one thing on there. But unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, none of the other stuff sold during the competition. So we did the whole Star Wars collection. I still have like one from the 70s. I didn't run it only because, I advertised it as from the 90s and 2000s. And so, I wasn't sure if there would be anybody in there who might pay up for that one. And, so I kept that one out, but I probably should have put it in. But if somebody, makes me an offer on it, plus I kind of want to keep it. I kind of want to put it on my bookshelf, but I don't know. Hold on, is my kid yelling for me? I don't think so. My child is playing right now, but I gotta keep this headphone on half because I have the monitor, but I can't even see where she's at on it, so it's like useless. Anyway, I think they know where the cameras are. They definitely know because they'll look at it and be like, and then they'll walk to the other where the camera isn't or where they think I can't see. So yeah. But yeah, the Star Wars show went really well. We did really, really, really well. Moved all of them. And yeah, it was the first one we did was Thursday night, and I was, I started the show, and there was nobody in there. It was just me for like about a minute or two. It was weird. It was like a minute or two, and then like 20 people came in all at once, and we had about 20 all night. So we've been consistent, like, we always have at least like 15 people in our room, which doesn't seem like a lot, but like when we started, it was like, there was times when it was me, my wife, and my friend, and that's it. And we were just fucking around on camera, like, because there was nobody there to buy my shit. Like, literally, we've ended shows, like, we ended one show after like 10 minutes before. So yeah, like, it hasn't been like that in a while. So they all come in, like, nobody's in there. It was like, I was honestly worried. I'm like, oh fuck, like, this was our first show after the competition too. So I'm like, this isn't good, and this isn't a good sign of things to come. But it ended up being really good. We got some, like, I think people are gonna follow us no matter what we're running. So I think that I think it was a good positive outcome for that show, and we made money. All that Star Wars stuff was, if you remember, I know it's been a couple weeks, but I got that Star Wars collection, and the guy gave me the soccer cards, and so I basically paid off, like, I paid $500 for everything from the guy, and then the soccer cards he threw in free basically. So I sold those the next day for 400, and then I had, I made another sale. I sold a few things during the live auction too, because I got some video game stuff from him too. So I basically, all of these Star Wars things are just additional profit. Because I sold one thing on eBay for like $100. So basically 500 right there. I mean, obviously minus fees. The 400 was cash. So it was just the 100. And then, I sold like, I have to go back and look at everything. I haven't had time to get all that stuff organized. But I sold a bunch of video games from the stuff that he sent me for a few $100s. Like I sold a Nintendo console, PSP. Like I had a bunch of shit from that sale that went into the next Six Figure Sellers competition. So this stuff was just additional. It was stuff we still had, all the Star Wars stuff. And we've done a Star Wars show before, so I was kind of hoping that we didn't sell any of them during next Six Figure Seller. We sold like one. So we had a whole, enough for 2 shows worth. And it was all still out on Monday. So I was like, fuck it, let's just set up and do it. We were going to do a bead show tonight, but our friend Robin's Beads, shout out to Robin's Beads, is doing a show tonight. So we're probably just going to pop in her show and hang out because we haven't had time to do a bead show. We want to do a bead show, but the beads don't take up as much space as Star Wars toys. So those Star Wars toys had to go first. And then we're doing stuffies on Thursday because we're going to be going out of town for a little bit, just a couple days. So I like to clear shit out. So if we're coming back with more stuff, it's, there's plenty of space for it. Plus I've whenever we leave for a couple days, I like to clean everything, clean the dishes and shit. So that way when we get home, it's just a clean house. You don't have to do shit. You just get home and fucking can chill. So I try to start working on that little by little because, you clean a room in the house with a 3 and a 5-year-old, they fucking destroy it. You know what I mean? It's it's getting destroyed. So it's I literally am sitting surrounded by toys. You can't see what's over here. But right now I'm looking at Peppa Pig, a house Peppa Pig. And I had to pick up a bunch of little people just to put this tripod down. Otherwise it would have been crooked and shit. So, yeah. My kids, we're working on cleaning up. We're setting goals for the summer. So I think my oldest has some goals that she set herself, and then some that we set together. And then my youngest, she doesn't really understand, but we're going to try to get her setting some goals of cleaning up after herself. Because she's going to preschool and she's good at cleaning up when she finally does it. But, it's trying to get her to clean up because she's well, I'm still playing with this. So if I put it away, then I'm done with it. It was well, you can put it away and take it back out again. You don't have to take out everything, leave it, go on to the next. And, so yeah, it's getting there. We're getting there. And this week has been crazy busy. I thought that we would be less busy, but we're, getting ready to take a little trip. And then we're also, we just are a week removed from the competition. And then we're having car shit happen. So we've been still trying to get rid of my mom's car because we still had that car, but then this thing popped up. So we're all right, we'll save it till after the competition. So the competition happened. And so we're all right, we got to get this shit, going. And so then our other car, we brought it in and they're oh, it's, it had some fucking noise. So they're oh, you need a new transmission. So we traded that shit in and then sold the Subaru. So we're just trying to figure it out because we got we're going to be down to one car for a day, but we're picking up a new car tomorrow. So it's, yeah, it's just annoying that we have to do a bunch of shit. We were already trying to get a new car, but so it is what it is. I'm still looking to try to find a truck. I haven't found a truck yet because I need something that I can tow shit with. I've got the trailer, but it's not going to last forever. So I want to get a truck with a tow hitch, then I could fill up the bed and fill up the fucking trailer and, maybe do some clean outs. I've talked about that in the past, but I don't know. Maybe I might have more time in the fall because my 2 kids will be in school. So I'll have it's not like I don't get a ton. I still get a ton of stuff done when they're not here, or when they're here, but if they're not here, it just, cuts down on like having to stop and do potty breaks and stop, I can just kind of work straight through. Because when I get distracted doing that shit, then I get distracted, you know what I mean? I'll be like, all right, I'm going over to help her do this. I'm going to give her some privacy while she's in the bathroom, so I'm on my phone in the other room, and then wait for her to call me, and then I go, and then I'm distracted by the phone, and, it's a whole fucking thing. So, anyway, this last weekend, how was Friday? Friday wasn't great. I'm trying to remember, because I did the podcast, Thursday, I think. So Friday was, there was no sales Friday, I don't think. If I remember, I don't think there was any sales Friday. So then Saturday, it was supposed to rain where we were at, so I was looking at the weather out. We were going out to see my in-laws. So we're like, all right, well, let's like see if there's any yard sales out there, see what the weather is. The weather looked slightly better out there, so I was like, all right, let's just leave early and then hit sales on the way, so that way we can, get some yard sales in. We're not wasting time because we need inventory. So we left at like 6. I wanted to leave at 6, but we left at 6:30, which it ended up actually being perfect timing for when we got. So there was one group there was like some sales on the way, kind of. It was slightly out of the way, but it was all right. And it was in this little town in Western Mass, and so it was like a community-wide. It was a town-wide yard sale. It was literally like 5 or 6 streets. Most of them were all in the same area. There was a couple stretched like down this main road, but like there was a few just right in this main road, and so we blew through all those pretty quickly. There was a lot, and a lot of them were just getting set up because of the rain, so it was pretty rainy and coldy. Rainy and coldy. That should be the episode name. Rainy and coldy. So it started off like, people were just getting set up in their garages, so it was kind of like they weren't really already ready to go. But there was a couple things that we found that were all right. There was one sale that had some Ray-Ban sunglasses, so I had like 3 of them, and I looked up. So 2 of them were the exact same, and then the other one was like a different one. I looked up the 2 that were the same, and those ones were like brand new, and they were going for like 150 to 200. So I grabbed that at the first sale, and then I found a couple other things like scattered throughout, nothing crazy. But then we went out to, we were going out to my in-laws. So they have like a little campsite in Western Mass. It's like, not like mobile homes, but like trailers. Like they have like a permanent trailer that's like, it just looks like a little house. You know what I mean? Some people have RVs, but it's basically like a campsite. He owns it and shit. My father-in-law. And, so we went out there, and, my wife never gets to go to yard sales because I have to do it for the job. She could go out, but she doesn't like taking the girls out to yard sales, so it's whatever, So I was like, oh, you could come out with me. We could like drop them off with your mom and shit, and then we could just go out to some sales. So we dropped them off, and we went out to some sales. And we hit some decent sales. We got some, I got like a couple Kobe Bryant, Mitchell Ness jerseys. At that same sale, I got some like Ralph Lauren shoes, like made in Italy plaid shoes. They're like really nice dress shoes. I got a few things at that sale. That guy was like, I wasn't sure what his deal was. He had like a lot of like higher end golf shit. And I was prepared when I was walking over. I saw it all. I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna buy all this guy's golf shit. And then I walked over, and all of it was like embroidered with the names of different country clubs. And I've sold them before, and those ones just tend to not sell as well with the little club embroideries. And literally every single one, he had like Nike, he had like a lot of like the higher end brands, but literally every single one was like embroidered with fucking a golf club name. So I didn't like actually country club, not the golf club, whatever the fuck they're called. Then he had some other random stuff like hats, shoes. And so some of his prices were a little bit high. Some of them were like weren't. He was willing to work on some stuff. And then he like came up to me and my wife, you know, because we're social people at like a yard, especially at like yard sales. I'm always like shooting the shit because I feel like if you get people like, you know, like smiling and laughing and shit, then they kind of lower their defenses a little bit. But this guy was definitely, I forget what time it was. It wasn't like crazy early, but it was like maybe noon. Maybe it was closer to 1 because I think we got out there closer to 1 because it took a little bit to drive to like these places. And so he had definitely been drinking. And he like walks up and he like shows us this Rolex. He's like, look at this. We're like, oh, nice. He's like, yeah, it's fake. And we're like, oh, okay. He's like, I wear it sometimes at the casino and people think I have a lot of money. And I'm like, he was funny. He was like fucking around. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to try and sell it today. He's like, I'm going to sell it as fake, but I'm not like telling him it's not fake. But he's like, yeah, so if you guys want it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I know there's a little bit of a market for fake Rolexes, but I don't even know if you can sell them or where. And so I just was like, nah, man, I'll just take what I got from you. So I got like a couple Kobe jerseys from him and a Jordan jersey. And then I found a few video game systems. Like I found a Sega Genesis 3, like the third one. I found two Xbox One consoles, like randomly at like this lady's sale. It didn't look like they would have anything like that. It was like all bougie art shit. And then I walked up. I thought they were DVD players at first, and I was like, oh shit, that's an Xbox. And then I was like, oh, there's another Xbox. So I bought both of them for like $25, I think. So that was a nice little come up. And then Saturday, so we hit a few sales. We did all right. We found a few things. Like it wasn't crazy. Some Lego, like a sealed Lego Minions set, and a couple other random things. I'd have to look. I don't even remember. And so then Sunday, so that was Saturday. We went back. It was actually a fun day Saturday. Like Saturday, it was like the days that when you're like a dad, you're like, oh, dude, this is like the fucking best. So like we went down to the campsite. My kids love the campsite. So I got to go yard sailing in the morning, even though it was raining, it was whatever. So I went yard sailing in the morning with my wife, came back. We took the kids to the playground, went back to the house. I ate edibles. I ate some edibles. Did I eat edibles Saturday? I did, yeah. I ate them Saturday, so I was like, all right, I'm going to eat some edibles. So then we went back. So I ate the edibles, I think, earlier on. I think I ate them like, what time did I eat them at? It was after the playground. We got back from the playground, and so we were just kind of chilling at the campsite. The kids were playing up in like, there's like a little loft area, and so they were playing up there. So I was like, all right, I'll eat these edibles and play some like, I bought a PlayStation Portable. It was an impulse buy. Oh man, I'll talk about that in a minute. But so I was like, I'll eat some edibles and whatever, chill out. So ate some edibles, and then my father-in-law made like corned beef and cabbage for dinner because my wife like said she wanted it for St. Patrick's Day, but we didn't have a chance to get it. So her mom had him make it. It was really bomb. But like for some reason they told him that I don't like corned beef cabbage. So I'm like, it's not my favorite. Like, it's not my first choice of something to have. But like, if it's being made, I'm gonna eat it. But like, I'm not gonna be like at a restaurant ordering it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I used to do like order it and shit, but now I'm just kind of like, eh. But he made it like it was really bomb. It was really good. But he also made me a cheeseburger. But I had only eaten like half a bagel the whole day, so I fucking was hungry. Plus, I had eaten an edible, so I ate a bunch of shit. I ate a bunch of food, and then so after we finished the food, I was like, all right, I think I can have a beer now. Like I only had like 2 beers, I think. I'm like getting to the point where like I can only have like a beer now. So I had like 1 beer. It was a tall boy, and then our kids wanted to do s'mores. So I guess there was like a neighbor who had a fire going. So we took my father-in-law's truck down, drove down there. they had a bunch of toys outside, so the kids were playing with toys. I was fucking sword fighting with the kids. I was high as shit at that point. Not like too high to hang out with my kids, but like just like feeling nice. And so they had those like swords that like come with the sheath, and they're like the, you know, from like the carnival or whatever, the cheap white plastic swords. So we were fucking fighting. Me and my kids were fighting with those. That was fucking awesome. Oh yeah, we took the little golf cart. My father-in-law let us use his golf cart, and just like on the rides to and from, because we take them down to like go to the playground and all that shit. And so just those little rides where they're like just so happy to be like in the golf cart, like they just like watch my kids like looking around at all the trees and smiling. So it's a lot of fun. It was a good day. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, there was weed, there was my kids, there was yard sales. It was, you know, my wife. It was my wife. It was good. It was a good day. And then Sunday, so we woke up Sunday, and I had a feeling that Sunday would be a good day to go yard sailing, because Saturday was so shitty. Sunday was like nice. And, you know, in Western Mass, there's a lot more like little flea markets with actual vendors. So they had a sale. There was a yard sale that was like, you know, it was supposed to be Saturday, and it was Saturday and Sunday. Or no, there was one sale that was supposed to be Sunday, so we were going to start at the Sunday only sale. And so on the way there, we saw a flea market that was being set up. That I guess had set up on Saturday, but we're like, all right, whatever, we're here, let's stop by. So we stopped in, and they were like, it was like 20 minutes till when they were opening. Hold on, I gotta get some water here. Sorry, I got a little thing of ice in my thing. I didn't want to. Anyway, so they were like setting up. They didn't really have a ton of shit. So the first people we went by, they didn't really have shit. There was only like 3 actual people selling stuff at this flea market. Like it was a tiny ass flea market. And this other lady was there. She had some glass. I got a swung vase, which this was my first one that I found. And I know that they do well. This one was not a good one. It was like clear with crystal on the bottom, so I was like, oh, maybe it'll do all right. I paid $8 for it, so I might just save that for a future whatnot, or just put it back in the yard sale pile, because it's really not like worth a ton. It didn't have like cool colors or anything. So then we were walking over, and there was this other lady getting set up, and she had some clothes and shit. So I was looking through, and she had some like brand new Harley t-shirts from like 2014. So, you know, we're looking through stuff, and she's asking me anything I was looking for. And so I told her my usual spiel, and she's like, I don't have toys and stuff, but I have this. I wasn't sure if anybody would want it. So I only brought one tote, and I have more at the house. And she brought out a tote of like vintage Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And so I'm like, I'm looking at all of it, and she has everything individually priced, and the prices are pretty crazy. Not like anything crazy, but like, you know, so I'm looking through it, and I'm pricing everything out. And so I do all the pricing, and I'm like, it comes out to $400. And so she was like very open to like, you know, doing it for a cheaper price. So she was like, she had, you know, a bunch of stuff. So she wanted 400 was like her asking price. So I was like, would you do 200? And she was like, yes. And she said it like immediately. She was like, so I probably could have gone a little bit lower. So now she's like, but she reached out to me, and she sent me a bunch of pictures. So I've got we're going back, because my dog is still out in Western Mass with my in-laws. Or actually, he's probably in Connecticut right now. I don't know where he's at. But he's out with, he's staying with my in-laws and shit. So, you know, he's grown on me. I'm like used to being a dog owner now, clean up his fucking shit. Yeah, so we got that set right off the bat. So that was like a good haul. And yeah, she already texted me with all the other stuff she has. So I just got to set up a time to like come back and pick it up. I haven't had a chance. Like she sent me all the pictures, but they're all the original pictures. So I have to kind of go through and figure out which ones have already sold to me and which ones are like, you know, before I make an offer. So I might just say like, let's just figure out a price when I get down there, because she seems like open to selling them. So yeah. And then, yeah, so I did make an impulse buy. I started to say that a little earlier. I bought a PlayStation Portal and I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Um, I, I played it a handful of times. It's very laggy when you play on the internet, and then like when I play it with it when it's connected to my console, it's like it kicks everything off the console except for that. So it's like at that point, what the fuck is the point if I can't play it separate? Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. I need to do a tutorial about how to do it or whatever, because it just seems kind of fucking retarded that you can't play the PlayStation Portable like outside of like, I did it on the cloud and then it doesn't sync. So like I do a bunch of shit on the game on the cloud drive, and then it doesn't fucking sync when I go to play it on the fucking home console. So I have to do all this shit again. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. It's kind of whack. I had high hopes from it. The design's kind of gay. Yeah, so I don't know. It was a kind of an impulse buy. I was like, all right, I'm going to get this for the trip. So now I'm like, do I fucking keep it, or do I go swap it out for a Nintendo Switch? But that's like another, if I switch it out for a Nintendo Switch, it's like another, what was it? Another like $200 plus I got to buy games. At least with the PlayStation, I have games for it already. So that was my thinking of buying that. I thought my wife would think it was frugal, but she was like, you really bought that? I was like, yeah, I did. We just made a bunch of fucking money, So anyway, plus it was like for the trip or whatever. She was like, you're going to use it on our trip, like this trip, the last trip we went on? I was like, no, like for the plane ride. So anyway, yeah, I had one person like reach out from the next Six Figure Seller show that bought gold, and they like sent me a picture and they were like, hey, it was not 9 grams. What do we do about it? That's all they said. Like, not like, hey, I weighed this, blah, blah, blah. And so I was just like, well, I weighed it just before I sent it with the same scale I've been using for years and selling gold and silver for years with. I just calibrated it just before sending it out, which, I mean, any fucking buddy who's ever sold dime bags knows how to calibrate a goddamn scale. You just put a fucking nickel on it. So I said that, and I was like, I calibrated it. It was on, so I'm not sure you can return it, and I'll give you a refund, but yeah, I'm not going to just give you a partial refund. So I haven't heard anything back after that. That was a few days ago. But I don't know. They always use the same like scammy language. You would think that they would get better at like being scammers, but I feel like it's a TikTok thing too. It's like people on TikToks, like they'll be like, oh, this is how you can get fucking like money off your order, and like I'm sure it works like 9 out of 10 times. I'm sure that like they probably do that for every order. They just go, hey, there's an issue, fix this, and I bet they just like get it fixed. But not with me. I'm a seasoned vet. I've been doing this shit for too long. I know all the fucking tricks, bitch. What else? I have stuff to talk about here because we're like 30 minutes in. Finish your tune. Oh man, what happened? All right, hold on. Why am I getting some shit? We're trying to buy this car because... Let me see. What is she... My wife is like so... Alright, I'll have to figure this out after. I thought I submitted all the shit that I need submitting, but I don't know. Oh yeah, so Sunday, while we were out doing yard sales and shit, there was this one, like the last place we went to was like this little, it was like another one of those little flea markets. And so we walked up, and as soon as I was walking up, I saw this lady had these 2 old jackets, like, vintage, like it was NASCAR. And she had them like laying out on the hood of her truck, like her van. So I started talking to her, asking her how much she wanted for them. She was kind of a little high on her price. I probably paid too much for them, but she was cool, whatever. And, my wife wasn't questioning it, so I was like, whatever. The prices, I mean, and so she was like talking to me, and so I was trying to buy this hat from her, and I definitely overpaid on the hat, but she was like asking 20 on it, and I was like, would you do 10? And she was like, I was like, well, what about 15? And she was like, well, she's like, how about this? You come back at the end of the day. If it's still here, I'll do it for 15. I was like, well, we're on our way out. Like, we're going to be heading out of town soon. So, like, I probably won't be back this way for, like, a few more weeks. And she was like, well, all right, I'll make you a deal. I'll do it for 15 if you watch my yard sale while I run to the bathroom. I was like, all right. So she like ran to the bathroom. I had to sit there and watch her stuff. She had one guy come over, but he didn't buy anything. So, she didn't sell anything. But I was like, do you have anything priced? She's like, no, I know you know how to do it. I was like, I don't. Like, I honestly don't know about any of the stuff that you have here. I just know about the clothes. Like, she had a bunch of old antique shit. She would have come back and like fucking been pissed because I would have been selling shit for like $5. But like, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, that was a first for me. I've never had that happen. Never had that happen. And then the other thing, why do they need more info on my fucking car? I already did this shit. Your order approval deadline is... Alright, I'm gonna have to finish this up here shortly because I gotta figure this out. I know, I keep saying like these are gonna be longer podcasts and then I keep running out of time. Yeah. So, what was I gonna talk about? There was one thing that I was remembering. So, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was remembering Plenty of Fish. Do you guys remember Plenty of Fish? It was like a dating app, but it was like the first dating site. Like it was like after Match, but it was like more for like hooking up. I think it was hooking up. I don't really remember. I don't know if it was like hooking up, but it was like before Tinder. Because I never got to like Tinder or anything like that. Like all that shit came after I was with my wife. And so, like, I kind of missed out on all that stuff. But I did have Plenty of Fish, but there was, like, not actual real people on it. I don't know why I just fucking thought about that. I feel like my wife had one of those, too. But it was just, like, a dating site. But it was, like, more... I don't even remember. But there was never any, like, actual... Like, it was just all beasts of people, usually. Occasionally, there was, like, I don't know why I thought about that. And the other thing I was thinking about when I was high the other day on the edibles was that like thoughts are just an internal conversation with yourself. Have you ever thought about that? The other thing like that it was a conversation I've only had once with one other person, but I've thought this before. But I've only had a conversation with my buddy Jay. I don't even know if he probably doesn't even remember this conversation. It wasn't that long ago. It was like a few years ago. And we had done some mushrooms. And I was like, what the fuck did I say? We were talking about something and he's like, well, yeah, like, I don't know. The only consciousness that I know is my own. So like, I don't know if you're conscious, but I just have to take your word for it. Like, this is what he was saying to me. And I've thought that before. Like, you don't know. And I've said that before, just not like to him, but just like had that thought. But like, yeah, you don't know when you see somebody else, like you just kind of have to take their word that like their consciousness is like, like I felt when he said that, I was like, oh, well, like that's how I know you're a conscious person because you just said that like you're thinking outside of yourself kind of. It's hard to explain what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, not like your consciousness, like you're just like, how like you meet, like in video games, there's an NPC, right? There's like the main character. You kind of know what they're thinking, feeling, like, they have an internal dialogue that you sometimes hear in the video game. But then they have these NPCs who are just like living their fucking lives, It was kind of similar to that, like the NPC type thing. But he was like saying, like, I only know that I know my own consciousness, but like, I don't know that you're also conscious or that you're like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know why I just went into all that. This podcast just went off the rails because I got that email about this car needing more information, and I thought I already got all the information that I gave them because they said I was all set. So now I got to get more information from them, or get more information to them. Let me see. I got like one other thing to talk about here, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Just the only thing I love Kid Cudi. I love Kid Cudi's music, but I keep seeing this, like, the ads for his podcast, like, it's just like clips and shit from his podcast. It looks like the worst dog shit podcast I've ever seen. uh it looks really bad. Just from the clips I've seen. Just from the clips I've seen. I haven't actually watched it. And I've watched them all on mute too. Like, I haven't even like watched them with sound, but just on mute, like just scrolling and you see a clip. Every time I'm like, this looks horrible. Or that other podcast with like the actor where he's like in coffins with people talking. Like, I feel like celebrities should not be doing podcasts. They're so out of touch. I know I'm the authority on podcasts because I do one podcast terribly for, over 100 episodes. But I don't know, if I did it in a coffin, would it be better? Like, it's so fucking weird that you're just laying in a coffin and it's called like Coffin Talk. It's a fucking clever name, bro. I don't know. I don't know why I'm on one right now. I don't know what just happened. I was doing so well. And then I started running out of things to talk about and starting to see the time crunch. We've got another live show coming up on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. We got a bunch of plush stuffies. I've got Gabby's Dollhouse. I've got Sesame Street. I've got some vintage. I've got some modern stuff. I've got a bunch, and I'm going to probably hit up Savers sometime tomorrow before the show and pick up a bunch more shit. Savers always has a lot of plush in this one area. If I go after a few weeks, it kind of gets refilled, and there's always some good shit in there. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I gotta finish this early because I gotta take care of this vehicle thing, because this is like, I swear, after, not this week, but not next week. Next week's episode, it might get delayed. I'm gonna try to bring my podcasting stuff, because my wife's probably gonna want my camera, so I'm probably gonna try to bring my podcasting stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna try to bring my podcasting stuff so I can do it, because we're gonna be out of town, and I'll try to get that one in, and then yeah. So. And yeah, and then we gotta, like, I've got somebody who's coming to like stay at the house while we're gone. So I have to teach them how to do everything. That's gonna be fun. Fuck, I have too much shit to do. All right, that's the podcast. Like and subscribe. Make sure to leave a review. Tell people you love this show. And yeah, we've got. I have stickers, and they're Flips and Giggles stickers. So it's like my business stickers, and then I've got. The Yard Sale Task Force stickers. They are available for purchase now. You can go to my Whatnot, and then you should be able to buy it now in the shop. It's you can buy it instantly. You don't need to wait for the show. It should be up there ready to go. I think I did it right. And if it's not, shoot me a message if you want one, and we'll get it figured out. And I've had people ask about the t-shirts. I'm trying to figure out. I found one t-shirt Connect, but I got to see what their prices are and see how that goes. So yeah, keep your eye out for that. We're gonna wrap it up for today, and then I'll be back next week, hopefully with a longer podcast. I am going to be with some friends, so I might do a podcast with them. So we'll see what happens, because I've been asking them to do a podcast for like a while, and they won't do it. So we'll see if they'll do it. So, all right, that's it. I'll be back hopefully next week. If not, don't be mad. But no, I'm going to try. Definitely going to make a concerted effort to be released next week. That's the show. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Peace.